Yo, welcome back to KAMMA. I'm Khalil Deal.
I'm Andio.
And we are KAMMA. We're about to talk about UFC Seattle, our final thoughts, face-offs, and predictions for UFC Seattle, also known as UFC Fight Night 271. And we're going to talk about the first fight of the prelims after watching the face-offs. Andio, Alexa Thinara versus Bruna Brazil. How do you feel after watching the face-offs, bro?
Yes, the deal. I know you're not loving the fact that Bruna Brazil has a large height advantage here. I don't know if you were expecting this. I wasn't really expecting it myself, but not to worry. I think Tainara is going to be out here looking for her revenge because several years ago Bruna Brazil beat her, and I think she's going to be she's better than she was back then, and I think she's going to use that volume to get in there, take her down nice and strong, trip her down, and keep on doing that until she gets the win. So give me Tainara by sub or decision.
Yeah, man. Look, I know that Bruna Brazil is taller. I can see it here. She is taller than Alexia Thenara, but
But is that what we like? Did we know this before? Because
yeah, she was showing as about 2 inches taller. And
this looks more than that, eh?
but the funny thing is, though, is that Thenara has the longer reach. She actually has an inch and a half reach advantage over Bruna Brazil, even though Bruna Brazil is 2 or 3 inches taller than Thenara. But it doesn't matter because if you look at Bruna Brazil's build, she is the skinnier fighter. She's not as muscular, not as built. She's skinnier. And Alexei Thenara is jacked. You can see the muscles on her. She is super built. She's ripped. She's bigger and thicker than Bruna Brazil. So I like that. And like I said, man, she's coming out here for revenge this time. She lost the first fight against her. I know she's going to want to come out here and win. And she just has to get Bruna Brazil to the ground. Her submission game has evolved, has been so much better since the first time they fought.
And her takedowns also have gotten better.
Yeah, and she's stronger than Bruna Brazil, and I think that this is where she's going to shine here in this fight. Get her revenge, get her to the ground, ground and pound, or also get the sub. I'm leaning more towards the sub or decision for Alexia Thenara, though. So give me Alexia Thenara by submission or decision for the first fight. All right, moving on up to the next fight. We got Ricky Simone versus Adrian Yanez. This one here, I was loving this one, man, because Ricky Simone is in fantastic shape. I know that Adrian Yanez is a little bit taller, but Ricky Simone is in fantastic shape. This guy is absolutely jacked. He's super built and ripped and muscular. Adrian Yanez, the skinnier guy out of the two. You can see it in this photo. He's skinnier. He does have a little bit of a height advantage, but I think Ricky Simone, with the hometown, the crowd going wild when he came out in these face-offs, he looks pumped. He looks ready to go. I expect him to get his grappling going, his wrestling going, and I got Ricky Simone winning this one by knockout or decision.
Yeah, he's going to have more variation to his game, Ricky Simone, and that I feel is going to be the way he's going to win. In a fight like this, his main job is to stay away from the specialist area of preference, which is the boxing range of Yanez. Don't let that going. Do your thing without staying there, and you should get this one done. So I'm calling a decision or knockout also.
Nice. We're still in agreement with the first two fights of the prelims. Let's move on up to the next one here. The next fight is going to be a banger as well here. We got the Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez, NDO.
Here again, I was also a little surprised that Bruno Lopez here is almost as tall as Sterling. Both of them coming in pretty good shape. Sterling more ripped, I would say. Sterling a pretty big guy in general. I think he has deceivingly big looks here. So yeah, the pick is going to be Sterling, but I'm not sold on whether he's going to get a knockout for this fight. He seems to be a decisionator. And if anyone, Bruno Lopez is the guy looking back at their records who gets early finishes overall in his career. He has a bunch of them. But in this one, whether he gets the knockout or not, I'm going with Sterling. And I will call... you know what? I say there's a good chance he gets a knockout in this one, so I'm going to call knockout or decision.
Yeah, man. Navajo Sterling is super ripped. Okay, super ripped. In these face-off, we saw him posing there. He's got the abs. He's ripped. He's built. Very muscular. Bruno Lopez is in decent shape, but definitely not ripped or muscular as much as Navajo Sterling. Don't let the cowboy hat fool you here. Navajo Sterling's the taller guy. He's got a 2-inch height advantage on him,
I
and
wouldn't
he's
say
got.
that.
Yeah, he does. It's just the hat makes it look like they're almost the same height, but you can see he's looking up at him. If you look at the top of Navajo Sterling's head, just take away that hat and you'll see he's 2 inches taller. And also, he's going to have a significant 5-inch reach advantage, man, over Bruno Lopez. I expect Navajo Sterling to keep a distance, jab, 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 kicks, punches, stay at a distance with that reach advantage. And I expect him to win this one by knockout or decision. I think he'll get the knockout in this one, Andy O. I think he's going to be able to knock out Bruno Lopez. Bruno Lopez did just get knocked out in his last fight against Dustin Jacoby with a left hook, so I definitely can see Navajo Sterling clipping that chin. All right, so we're in agreement with Navajo Sterling in this one. Let's move on up to the next fight. This one, I was so happy, bro. I was so happy, bro. Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandez. Bro, Casey O'Neill, not only was she laid off for a long time and hasn't fought in like a year and 7 months, but she looks skinny, bro. She looks skinny, man. She came out here looking very skinny. And I like that Gabriela Fernandez has like a tiny little bit of a height advantage there, not by much. But the build is insane for Gabriela Fernandez. She looks like a dude.
She has that manliness going.
She's got traps, shoulders, big arms, muscles. She's ripped. She's big. She's super huge compared to Casey O'Neill. No way Casey O'Neill is going to drag her down to the ground or take her down easily. It's going to be very tough for Casey O'Neill to use any of those grappling or wrestling skills. I think Gabriela Fernandez, if anything, could easily grab her and smash her on the ground, hit her with some crazy hard punches, maybe even knock her out. I like Gabriela Fernandez to win this one, man. I'm going to call a knockout or submission. I think she could finish Casey O'Neill in this one, man.
Yeah, there's potential for this one to be tight. I think the odds are actually equal in this one.
Yeah, it is. That's even odds. I think it's. I expect. I'm thinking a late finish for Gabriela Fernandez. A late finish.
Yeah, so as of Showtime, are even here, and yeah, me, it's still with the layoff more than anything. To get in there with a beast like this in your first fight back.
Yeah,
I'm still with Fernandez here. I have to see more of how O'Neill is here, and initially, to be honest, I never thought that highly of O'Neill to begin with, even when she first got here, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, she's really good." Like, she hasn't showed me anything. So yeah, Fernandez by decision or knockout.
yeah, man. We're in agreement with this one. Yeah, like I said, when I saw Gabriela Fernandez in these face-offs, I was so happy, man. Like I said, O'Neill does not look like she's going to be stronger or able to beat Gabriela Fernandez, man. So I like this, man. All right, so we're in agreement with this one as well. Let's move on up to the next one. This is where me and Andy O disagreed. This next fight here with Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune.
Like, how much further can you get for a face-off, with these two? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, look, I'm gonna still stick with Tybura here because I never thought Fortune was all that special to begin with in all those Bellator fights, and Tybura fought like everybody. So that means many, many more good people than Fortune has fought. So and he seems a little bigger than Fortune does here. I don't know. I don't think it really matters because I think his path is really to try to fall on top of him somehow and try to latch in that sub. So give me Tybura by sub or knockout. But I think it's most likely a sub, but I don't think this fight is going the distance.
Yeah, looking at these guys' builds here, I don't think Tybura is much bigger than Fortune as far as muscular-wise.
He's got more mass overall, but yeah,
That's it.
Fortune is the more muscular guy, but that doesn't mean he has more power. Like, Tybura still may be a stronger guy.
Listen, I think that Tabura is strong. Like again, don't get me wrong. I like Tabura as well. I think Tabura fought the better competition, and but the thing is about Tabura is that he's getting up there in age, man. He's
True.
40 years old, and he's just coming off of a loss from Ante Delija by knockout. Okay, and yeah, looking at these guys physically, there, Tabura, at least he's not fat. He's got that mass. He's lean enough, but you can see that Tyrell Fortune's got the muscles. He's more cut. He's more built than Tabura. I don't know who's going to be stronger. We'll have to see that on Saturday. But I do see Tabura. He's obviously a little bit taller, but the fact that Tyrell Fortune can wrestle really well, I expect him to come after Tabura, use his strength, and just get Tabura to the ground, stay on top of him, use that ground and pound, and get the win. Give me Tyrell Fortune here by knockout or decision. Me and Andio still disagreeing on this one here, but I will say this though: Tabura is definitely scary. He's definitely dangerous. You never know what can happen. All right, let's move on up to the next fight. We're at the co-main event here of the evening. Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson Jr. I have to say this. I'm scared, man. I am worried, man. I am worried. I have Chase Hooper, but I am fucking worried. Now, Chase Hooper, taller guy you can see here. He's much taller than Lance Gibson Jr. He's lean. He's a lean, mean machine. He's tall, but he is on the skinnier side. He is ripped, of course, but it worries me he's on the skinnier side. Lance Gibson Jr. looks in phenomenal shape, man. He's got an 8-pack, I think, in the abs there. Super built, super muscular, looks very big. I'm very scared. I'm very scared. Chase Hooper, you better take this fucking guy down. You better take him down. You better use your submission skills. You better get on his back, get that body lock, look for a submission, look for a rear naked choke. Use your submission skills, look for an arm triangle, whatever. You got to get a submission on this guy. You can't sit there and try to punch with this guy. Gibson Jr. lands one punch. I think he can knock Chase Hooper's head off, man, with that size and power.
If his chin is shot, maybe.
You know what I mean? And also the fact that Chase Hooper just got knocked out in the last fight against Alexander Hernandez. So I'm very scared, man. I'm going to pick Chase Hooper by submission.
I'm going to say muscles don't make tussles. Lance Gibson Jr. didn't want to show any of that urgency or any of that power against Bobby Green. And I really think Lance Gibson Jr. is going to be the one taking Hooper down. And that's where skills come into play in fighting. And Hooper just has the skills to beat Lance Gibson Jr. down there. So that's what I think is going to happen. I'm going to actually call a finish on this one also. I think Hooper's going to make Lance Gibson I get knocked out because of his lack of urgency and trying. That's what you get, So Hooper's going to teach him a lesson here.
I'll tell you, man, we both have Chase Hooper, but I am not confident in it. Let me tell you, man. All right, let's move on up to the next fight here. We got the main event of the evening. Folks, if you haven't already, guys, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Shout out to all the new subscribers, man. We're trying to get to 150. We're at 143. We need 7 more of you cool guys out there to just hit the sub, share the video with your friends, get them to subscribe. All right.
It's free. Yeah, it's free. It's easy. It's fun.
So Ignacio Bahamondes, man, against Tofik Musayev, man. Who you got, NDO?
Yeah, initially I was a little iffy on this one, but now I'm more confident Bahamondes pulling this one off. I think he's going to make use of his range, but he has to be a little quicker out there than he was in his last fight. I think it was against either Bobby Green or that other unk there, Michael Johnson. And also, I think he's going to make use of those nice leg kicks here. He has to be careful about the catching of those kicks, but I think he will. And I think the range is going to help him here. Also, he's going to be out to atone for himself after that shoddy performance last time out. Because he's been in there with some pretty quality guys, and he's beaten quality guys too. So I'm going to pick him to beat Musayev here by decision or knockout.
All right, man. I'm agreeing with you here, man. I do like Ignacio Bahamondes here, man. I really hope that this guy uses his grappling. I think that this guy can be he could do very good if he gets the wrestling and the grappling going. He needs to take this guy down. He's got submission skills.
Yeah, bro, I think it's more, we got to hope that he uses his range and not go where Musayev can like really counter him or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can tell he's obviously he's the taller guy. He's going to have a significant 6.5 inch reach advantage. You better use that, man. Try to clip him up on the feet, kicks, and stay at range with your punches and jabs. But at some point, try to get Tafik Musayev down, because Tafik Musayev is not really a ground guy. He has a couple of subs in his career, but they were long ass time ago, man. He hasn't subbed anybody to Tafik Musayev.
Yeah, but that's because he winds up on top of them and smashes them out.
Since like 2013, he has two submissions, and they were right at the beginning of his career against some bums in 2013 in the lower level promotions. Since then, he's only won by knockout or decision. So he's not a guy who's got any kind of submission game. Ignacio Bahamondes, he does have submissions. He is good on the ground, and I'd like to see him use it a little bit. He just subbed Jalen Turner in the last fight, Ignacio Bahamondes. His last win was a submission, a triangle choke on Jalen Turner. I want to see him do that in this one here, or win a knockout, ground and pound, something. But give me Ignacio Bahamondes to win by knockout or submission. He looks good too. He's lean, he's ripped, he's muscular. But Musayev, man, this guy is a strong, built, big guy. You can see the size. He's super muscular. I'm very worried Bahamondes cannot get clipped by this guy. I think Musayev has something like 20 knockouts. It's absolutely insane, man. Yeah, 19 knockouts. 18 knockouts. So
Yeah, and you gotta love the way Bahamondes cries at his weigh-ins and all of that. It's very
yeah,
touching.
he's very emotional and stuff like that. So let's get the job done, Bahamondes. So yeah, give me a Bahamondes by finish. What
I hope
about
he
you?
hope he brought Kleenex.
Yeah, you have him by knockout or decision, you said, or finish?
You decision or knockout.
All right, there you have it, folks. Our final thoughts, predictions, and face-offs for the prelims. Stay tuned for the main card coming up next. KAMMA, let's get it.
MMA.